Hi everyone, let's look into the micro and the low time frame scenario after we got some great action this weekend, exactly what I like to see. So we had two touches on the daily, found support, then moved up, and then this to be a wave 1, 2, now a wave 3 to the upside, eventually a 4 correction, and then a wave 5. Now an interesting first target for a little bit of resistance for me is going to be this daily naked point of control at 28k. The reason why I am labeling this as an impulse is twofold basically. First of all, we hit the 1.618 and passed the 1.618, which is usually a minimum target for a wave 3 as an extension taken from the low of 1 to the high of 1 to the low of wave 2. And also volume has been increasing with this move to the upside, which is exactly what you want to see in a wave 3. So that is very interesting. Now, if this is then a impulsive structure to the upside, we can then eventually expect a correction to the downside in a 3-wave structure. Now, we don't yet know how high this impulsive structure might go, but eventually after 5 waves, we can expect some sort of a 3-wave structure to the downside for then a continuation to the upside. And that is also interesting for then a potential trading setup, that if we have a 5-wave move, you do not expect price to actually go below these lows, but first you expect price to take the highs once again. So then the potential setup is to enter during the retracement, stop loss below the lows, and then look how high price will eventually go. So that is something to keep into account at least, and something I'll be looking for eventually after the 5 waves and this impulsive structure is going to be finished. Now, something else that I think is important is the trading setup that I mentioned in my previous video. So nonetheless, we are in a downtrend. So I mentioned it is more risky, but nonetheless, it was an interesting setup. And actually, because I recorded my video this morning earlier than usual, around here, around like 11 a.m. in the morning, instead of around 12 or 1, I actually missed something that for me was very important for this scenario to be more likely. And that was having a double divergence on both of the lines. So when I was recording my video over here, we only had bullish divergences with the blue CVD line. As you can see over here, this low made on the blue CVD was made at, well, it says 9:45 at the bottom, but the exact candle in my time zone was at 10:45. And that was around the time that I was recording, because I was recording at like 11 or something, 11:30. So I was recording in this area and we only had one CVD divergence, but we had a little bit of bearishness over here, and also the downtrend is down. However, this candle, or these candles over here just a little bit later, created another divergence on the yellow line. So if we go to the low over here in red and I put my cursor on the CVD, you can see that from basically, let's say 11:15, 11:30 on the CVD chart, which basically means it was about between 12 and 1. I was already in the train at that moment in time. I was traveling already. But over here, the yellow line also started to create bullish divergences, and that gives me a lot more confidence for then this trading setup, which initially is more risky because of the downside trend that we're in, but we have valid support. As I mentioned in the previous video, I said the support is valid. Bearish divergences, they already played out. We got bullish divergences left, and I mentioned even though it is more risky, the main first target for a bullish divergence is taking the high, which we have done a little bit later at 4:45 my time zone over here. But then because the volume is increasing, there is this potential for a wave 3 where then this scenario can be extended as well. So for now, in my opinion, trading this from an Elliott Wave point of view as well, this could have been a wave 1 to the upside, but also a wave C and potentially an ABC. So that was a little bit the question. But then seeing a double bullish divergence on the yellow and the blue line definitely gives the confidence for this trading setup to the upside. By now, as this is a wave 3, you do not expect price for now to go below this wave 2. So break even stop loss is a bare minimum at the moment. And then of course you have to trade this continuation based on your own plan, your own strategy, and whatever you have, right? You have your own plan, your own strategy to enter trades, exit trades, and follow these moves to the upside. But as mentioned, because this looks to be a 5-wave structure, we can then expect eventually a correction before a continuation, where this continuation is either going to be then an A, B, C, or this can be the beginning of a bigger impulse and then an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that is yet to be seen. We don't yet know, but it all depends on eventually how is price going down, how is it going to move up, are we going to move up this second move up in increasing volume, then it is more likely to be a wave 3. Or if volume is diminishing or it is less than this wave A, for example, then it starts to become more likely it's a wave C. We have to wait and see. But let's now go to the low time frame, which is actually the higher time frame, because now we're on the micro. And let's have a look at what this means now for the micro count that we have, right? So if I actually open the micro count, where of course the setup is the same, put the stop loss break even there, and let's look at what this might mean on the low time frame. So we were waiting, right, for a sign for potentially a wave 4, where this is what we're looking for, a 1 2 1 2, and then eventually a bigger 3 to the downside, which is then extended in yellow for then a wave 4 in yellow, and then eventually another wave 5 at least down for yellow. That is by far the most probable, also because this wave over here hit the extensions for a wave 3, and it is a lot less likely also, at least in my opinion, that this is a 5-wave structure. It looks more like a 1 2 1 2 than this being some sort of a 1 2 3 4 5. It looks very weird in the middle over here. So currently labeling this as a 1 2 1 2, looking for this 4 for then eventually a 5 to the downside. Now, as it stands inside this wave 4, we could then have a zigzag structure to at least begin with, which then is an ABC wave structure. Now over here, this is then also the end of wave 3, finding support at the daily, which basically was my last target box as mentioned before a bigger drop to the downside, where a very important target box for the high time frame counts as well, which I'll show you tomorrow evening at my 7 p.m. Central East European time update. It's between 24,850 and 24,377, and basically losing this target box over here for me would very likely mean price going to the downside and hitting this area over here, which would be very deep. So quite nice to see a little bit of action to the upside. Who cares? You know, who says weekends are boring? This weekend is amazing. And what we're looking for is, first of all, for price to see what it's going to do in this target box over here. Because we know that over here we have the daily naked point of control at 28K. So that can offer a little bit of resistance. But also because price has pushed through this target box relatively quickly, it is still something I like to keep on my chart, because it might now act as resistance. Now, if we're looking at this to be a wave 4, we're taking Fibonacci retracement from wave 2 to the low of wave 3, and then put on the 0.236 to the 0.5, with the 0.618 being a very rare target for a wave 4. But these are the common targets for a wave 4. So we have to wait and see what price is going to do around these target areas. And if I then also open a couple of confluences, we have a daily naked point of control just above the 0.5. So it is of course possible that price is going to move to the upside, hit the daily naked point of control above the 0.5, but I don't really want to see higher time frame candles close above the 0.5, as then a wave 4 might actually be quite unlikely, and we might see another pattern. And I do have some others in mind, but as it stands now, these are not relevant, so I might show these then in future updates, depending on how price is going to react in this area and what price is going to do in this move now to the upside. So this is an interesting area. It can wick in, maybe close below the 0.5 and then continue down, but we'll see, right? The first area of interest, or at least the first area to see what price is going to do, is the wide target box area, which is between 27.8 and 28.2K, with especially of course the naked point of control right about in the middle of that area. So yeah, because this is now a 5-wave structure, we then have to first wait for a retracement and then see what the move up is going to be. Is this going to be a wave 3 for higher prices, or is this going to be a wave C, which then also fits a wave 4 in an ABC scenario? We have to wait and see, but for now this is an incredible move to the upside during the weekend. I enjoy what I'm seeing, and I hope you do too. I hope this video was helpful or valuable to you. Please check out the macro and high time frame video I made last week if you're interested, and for now I'd like to thank you for watching and subscribing, and I will see you at the next one. Bye bye.